anime where MC is up and surprises everyone.
21. Isekai Cheat Magician. Genre: action, adventure, fantasy. Description: not your fantasy isekai anime. Cheat Magician has a great story and awesome characters. Taichi Nishimura is the MC of this anime who gets transported into another world suddenly. Upon the transfer, he is given an overwhelming power, making Taichi the most overpowered character of that series. The amazing magical abilities turn him into an overpowered beast and enemies. He just obliterates them throughout the series. Kasum and Ramiya find out that he has magical potential and he ends up getting into a team with them. 22. The Master of Ragnarok and Blesser of Einherjar. Genre: action, fantasy. Description: Yuto was just casually taking a selfie in front of a mirror when he suddenly got transported to another world. Turns out the mirror was not an ordinary one where we usually take mirror selfies to either flex our phone brands or just an excuse to take shy photos where we can cover our faces using the phone. The mirror in front of him was a divine one. He became the patriarch of the Wolf clan, and of course as a commander, he is obliged to lead, plan strategies, and take action. Hence, like any sane modern man transported to the Bronze Age would do, he used his modern knowledge and tactics, or what he prefers to call cheats. 23. Tanya the Evil. Genre: action, fantasy, sci-fi. Description: Tanya used to be an average salaryman in her past life before reincarnated into a different world. Because of his nasty personality, he got murdered at the hands of his subordinate. He got transported to a different world by the god he didn't believe in. He woke up in the body of a 13-year-old girl who trained like crazy to achieve very impressive physical strength and superhuman senses. Tanya soon climbed up the ranks of the army and secured the nickname of Devil of the Rhine because of her ruthless and brutal ways on the battlefield. She wishes to make her empire the strongest mankind has ever witnessed. 24. High school prodigies have it easy even in another world. Genre: action, isekai, fantasy. Description: Choyoyu or high school prodigies have it easy even in another world is an isekai anime where an airplane accident happens to have 7 high school students in it. When they wake up, they find themselves in the middle of a magical world. Beautiful, isn't it? On the first look, we thought that these high school kids won't survive an era with no modern tech, just a kingdom run by guilds and magic. But, to our surprise, these kids are the high school prodigies and they don't even break a sweat. Well, with the story aside, let's talk about our main character, which is Tsukasa Mikogami. Tsukasa is the reason Choyoyu is on our list today. 25. Dr. Stone. Genre: adventure, comedy, sci-fi. Description: Dr. Stone tells us the story of Taju Uki, who gets turned into a stone statue. He's not alone in this. Everyone else around him also gets turned into a stone statue. After thousands of years, Taiju wakes up into a whole different world that is stripped of all civilization. Taiju's science freak friend Senku tells Taiju that he has developed a great scheme that will bring civilization back. They both make a formidable team, giving the world a ray of hope. 26. When supernatural battles became commonplace. Genre: comedy, supernatural. Description: Ando Jirai, or July Ando. Whatever you want to call him. He is a high school student, considered to be very flashy and sometimes stupid. Unlike most other main characters, Jirai is energetic and edgy most of the time. Talking about his powers, it is called Dark and Dark. The power to manipulate flames from his right hand. Now, at first, the power was considered to be completely useless most of the time, but at some point in the 2707 Ghost. Genre: action, fantasy, military. Description: a 15-year-old boy who had to see so much in life, that's sad. Even though he had a sad past, he still wouldn't budge and decided not to show his emotions to anyone, as crying is of no use. During the exam, he showed extraordinary skills that are worth mentioning in this video. Tito's ability is called Xiphon, and he can manipulate this ability to surpass his limits. We have seen variations of his powers throughout the season, but his abilities made everyone vary from him. At the academy, he became the top graduate of his class as his powers were unrivaled by any other student. Using his Xiphon, he can legit destroy his enemies, or even make a shield that is strong enough to save a big number of people at the same time. 28. The Asterisk War. Genre: action, comedy, fantasy. Description: Ayato's family has a dojo in which they teach some ancient techniques to fight when the time of disasters would come. Ayato also respected his older sister very much and swore to protect her by any means. But one day she disappeared all of a sudden. Before disappearing, she put a seal on Ayato that would prevent him from using all of his powers unless he trained himself and unlocked those powers all by himself. Well, that's hard work for Ya. Ayato managed to break the seals, and throughout the story, we get to see a handful of techniques used by him. 2900. Genre: action, romance, sci-fi. Description: a guy who would give his all to solve other problems. Hayato is a kind-hearted, warm person, but at the same time, well-trained and a strong one, as seen in the anime. Damn, that's 1 in 100. Get it? The whole point of him fighting in the anime and becoming a slayer was getting his sister's treatment done for free. Hayato's reason for kindness is his dark past that was shown throughout the anime. But as we are going to talk about his badass powers where he left everyone in shock, we are going to do that. I mean, I just can't ignore the fact that Hayato Kasaragi is a wholesome one, but a badass on top of it. 30. Sky Wizard Academy. Genre: action, drama, fantasy. Description: as an instructor of a team that lost 100 matches consecutively, he had a lot of work to do throughout the series. We get to see Kanata's most badass moves that left everyone in shock. But the most exciting power we are going to talk about is Black Aura. Black Aura is a power that he has used a couple of times in the anime, but it is super strong. This power gives him a boost in every single way it can. He was able to beat Chimera Ant and beetles with a single strike. These enemies were causing troubles, and our protagonist, Kanata, came in and portrayed this power that gave people jaw drop. 31. Assassin's Pride. Genre: action, fantasy. Description: being half human and half vampire, his strength is often misjudged. Even though he's been mostly holding back, once his vampire form takes place, no one gets out alive. On the other hand, Kufa has also shown a soft side as well. As Melita's tutor, he went through extensive training to make sure that his pupils don't get into any sort of trouble. 32. Monster Strike. Genre: action, fantasy. Description: after getting transported into the game, he is totally stuck with the RPG. Dang, surely sounds like a dream. In theory, the game works by summoning monsters, and each play has a unique monster. Unlike others, Ren has the Dragon Organ, who is literally one of the most overpowered monster in the series. So, in other words, everyone is ready to get their butt kicked. Imagine getting transported to a game world. 33. Cautious Hero. Genre: action, adventure, comedy, fantasy, isekai. Description: the main reason for that is the fact that Seiya is always self-reflecting on his powers and strengths. Even if he's overpowered, he's training every time to make sure that he has a 100% probability of winning the battles. By evolving more and more, he started from being weak to becoming OP. Another aspect of Seiya that we'd like to mention is that he never loses. Part of the reason is his overwhelming strength, but there's a catch. Seiya is also the strongest when it comes to his mentality. He will train more and more to become crazy powerful, that results in his benefit. 34. Sirius the Jaeger. Genre: action, supernatural. Description: there are some moments where the Mick is overpowered from the start, just like Yuli, and the moment he revealed his Jaeger blood, things were interesting. Being a werewolf, Yuli has some superhuman strengths and senses. Once he goes berserk, you can't make him calm down, and that's seen throughout in the anime itself on multiple instances. Having a bloodlusty and powerful character on our list was a must that makes Yuli one of the best overpowered characters who can surprise anyone at any time. 35. Yuna and the Haunted Hot Springs. Genre: comedy, romance, supernatural, ecchi. Description: from the looks, he looks like a super tough teenager with rough hair and appearance. Despite looking all rowdy, he has a rather kind personality. Kogarashi only loses his coolness when someone he cares about is getting hurt. Well, that's the story with all of the MCs, right? Ain't nothing new. So, that's where he usually reveals his spiritual powers. Kogarashi has the most exciting spirit abilities when it comes to actual combat. We have seen him surprising us a bunch of times. mainly when he gets possessed by Yuna, who is a ghost in the series. His power, strength, speed, and mental ability far exceeds most of the characters in that series. Kogarashi is a total badass. 36. Elfen Lied. Genre: drama, horror, action. Description: one day, she sees an opportunity to escape. She uses her powers to open a path as well as leave a bloody wake. However, during her escape, she incurred a heavy head injury, causing her to have a split personality, opposite to her violent character. Her unconscious body was found by cousins, Kutra and Yuka, and was taken in, not knowing how dangerous Lucy is. Even if it seems she looks harmless, Elfen Lied has moments when Lucy just fully unleashes her powers. 37. Haven't You Heard, I'm Sakamoto. Genre: comedy. Description: it was just Sakamoto's first day in school and he has already gotten the attention of every girl in the school. Much to the jealousy of other guys. Like, how can they not? His good looks, mysterious aura, and he is tall. He's just perfect. So, guys with fragile egos attempt to embarrass and frame Sakamoto in many ways just to ruin his majestic image, but the man is too good to be tricked. He overcomes all the hurdles the boys throw at him and even impresses the ladies even. 38. Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun. Genre: comedy, isekai, school. Description: consequently, Iruma was taken to the demon world. But not to be eaten, or so he was taken in to be Sullivan's, the demon who bought Iruma, adoptive grandfather. He is coddled and spoiled by the demon, both to their satisfaction. Like a good grandpa, Sullivan sends Iruma to Babel's demon school. After Iruma was tricked by his grandpa to say a forbidden spell that would not make him fall, he got his target behind his back. As if everything is just piling up, he, accidentally, beats Alice Asmodeus, the freshman representative, to a duel. This surprised the other demons at the school. Iruma becomes the center of attention. As the story progresses, Iruma gets more and more powerful, and everyone just gets more and more intrigued and intimidated. 39. God of High School. Genre: action, fantasy, sci-fi. Description: every contender in the God of High School competition seemed intimidating. Some of the contenders didn't pay Jin Mori's mind until he breezed through the first round and defeated formidable opponents. He did all this without relying on borrowed powers from mythological creatures, historical figures, or gods. It is no surprise that in the end, even with Jegal Taek's absorbed powers, Jin Mori was able to snatch the God of High School title. 40. Bofuri. Genre: adventure, action, comedy. Description: Hanjo Kaide is not a fan of video games, what more VRMORPGs. But she was forced by her friend to try it, and as a good friend, she did. She begins to create her character, putting all points to vitality as she doesn't want to get hurt. She begins her journey slowly, but surely becomes a beast. 41. No Game No Life. Genre: strategy game, isekai. Description: the duo, blank, composed of Sora and Shiro, is said to be undefeated in terms of games, regardless of kind. They suddenly received an invitation to a game of online chess from an unknown person. Of course, they won the game. They were transported to the world of Disboard after defeating Tet, the one true god in a game of chess. They end up in Elkia and are in search of a place to stay.